Smalls, what it do, what it do.
What's going on, weatherman? How you doing, baby?
I'm good to go. I'm the weatherman, T Smalls in the house. Welcome to the Let's Talk Living the Tree podcast. It's a beautiful day, Smalls. What you think?
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, man. You best believe it.
That's what I'm talking about. We have Miss Janey on the line. How you doing?
Good evening, gentlemen.
It's going to be a great show, great topic. She's all the way from parts unknown. We're not going to discuss about all that.
Right.
Because I heard she might do something else, Smalls, if we do give her
Maybe.
location.
Maybe.
Yeah, with a name like Miss Janey, I know that macaroni and cheese is good.
Hell yeah. You talking about when you pull it out the pan, boy, the cheese
You got that right.
falling off. That type of good.
Right. We're talking about sexless marriages. Smalls, where we at, buddy? Where we
Man,
at?
we talking under the tree.
Hit it again.
We talking under the tree.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yes,
Smalls,
sir.
Show everybody some love.
Oh yeah, definitely gonna show everybody some love, man. Gotta do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, show somebody. There you go. Show everybody some love. One time for your mind, two times for your soul. I am the weatherman, T Smalls in the house. With Miss Janey, we talking about sexless marriages. That's sexless marriages. Is it old folks? Is it young folks? We're going to find out in a second. See you in 33 seconds.
Kingpin Music.
Okay, we have our caller on the line, Miss Janey. She's going to give her rendition of things she went through in her life about sexless marriages. Smalls, have you ever heard of anything like this before?
Man, have I? It's a lot of people living like that right now today, man. It's crazy.
I heard of old people. You know, that's the common denominator.
Well,
but I've never heard of young folks. I mean,
from what I understand, it has no age limit whatsoever. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Ms. Janey, what you got? When did this thing start with you? I know in previous conversations did it start at, I'm just going to throw an age 25 or what? I mean, what's going on? What happened to you?
Originally it started out as like a punishment, you know, that some women do. We like to hold out.
Right.
It started out like that. And then within about a year, I started noticing, wow, nothing's happening. You know, and when you talk about it, in the beginning, he was like, well, you cut it off. And that was that. But what I didn't realize is he had a medical condition. So it's like, even though I thought I was punishing him, it turned out I was punishing myself because he ended up getting sick.
So you was, I think I'm hearing this right, you was punishing him holding back the cat.
Well, you know, not coming home or coming home late, and I'm not getting any attention. So I said, well, why should I give him any attention if I'm not getting any attention? And that's basically how it started. You know, but 1 week turns into a month turns into 6 months. And next thing I know, it was a whole year.
Wow.
Well, did your cat start hollering? I mean,
the first week he did because he felt like I was going to give in, but I didn't. I kind of stood a little firm because he was still not coming home or staying out late. You know, so I thought I was punishing him for staying out late. And it just got worse. I didn't realize it was getting worse until literally it was too late.
Wow.
What was your
because
age?
by then he
Go ahead.
he acquired a medical condition
Mm-hmm.
that rendered him with ED.
Okay. What was your age when all this started? About what?
I might have been 38, 39, give or take.
Wow, 39.
And I think at that time we were married maybe 4 years.
Whoa.
Man.
Well, at 39 years old, Smalls, as far as I know, the cat on fire.
Or
So
3 years.
3 years. How does that cat sound when it's on fire, Smalls? I mean, this at 39. Yeah. Because I've never heard of that. You going through something?
At 39 years old, I mean, like she said, man, he had a medical condition, so it wasn't purpose. It wasn't on purpose, and at first it began like that, and then she just said that when she found out what was going on, that was it. But at 39, that's hard, man. That's hard. That's real hard because your hormones still jumping like jumping beans at 39, 38, 39.
Because most dudes around that age still got the dog in them, Small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was 10 years older. So I was 39, he was 49 or 48.
Oh, okay. Well, then when you say it like that, then yeah, so that's the difference right there. But still, you gotta if that's your your husband you with or whatever, you gotta communicate these things. You can't just sit there and say, hey, don't say nothing. You gotta say, hey, what's going on? You all right? Everything good? You know what I mean? Where maybe y'all can work something out.
Since you seemed like you wasn't getting satisfied, did you find alternative ways for your pleasure? To be satisfied. Were you in the?
I can barely hear you guys.
Oh, we can hear you. Did you find alternative ways to please yourself with your pleasures?
For the first few years, no. I just dealt with it, thinking that it would get better.
Right.
Trying to hang out a little more, trying to do things together, hoping that at the end of the night, it would turn out to be something, but it never did. And then I think after year 3, that's when we realized that he had a medical condition rendering him, with the condition.
Wow.
Man.
Smalls, in a case like that, some women would want to kind of tip out a little bit or maybe think it, mentally,
Yeah, I mean, but at the same time, man, it's still a situation that they both should discuss. I can understand from the man's point of view, man. He probably was a little bit embarrassed and didn't want to kind of like bring it to the table at first, but hey, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to talk things out,
Right. Was your ex a pretty healthy dude? Did he eat pretty healthy? Was his diet normal?
Yeah, I mean, somewhat, but what ended up happening, he got real sick and took him to the emergency room. And that's when we found out that he had diabetes. And the doctor explained, that diabetes, sometimes it affects a man's libido. And he asked him if he was having any problems. And he just kind of shrugged his shoulder. And I said, no, you need to be honest with the doctor and let him know, that you got a serious condition going on. And so the doctor was like, well, how long has it been since you've had intercourse with your wife? And he shrugged his shoulder. He said, I don't know. She cut me off. So I was like, wow. So now it's my fault. So I had to defend myself. Yes, I did cut it off. But after a while, I started noticing, he wasn't going to the bathroom as much. He was drinking a lot of water, but he wasn't going to the bathroom. His skin condition was, getting blisters. And, all of that is signs of diabetes. but he didn't want to admit it until he really got sick and had no choice but to go to the emergency room. And that's when they told us, yeah, he's diabetic. And he just didn't want to admit that he was having erectile dysfunction.
Wow. Was that a big factor as far as the end of the marriage, the erectile dysfunction?
That was part of it, because I ended up enduring another 3 years. So it ended up being a total of 6 years of having sexless marriage,
Mm.
you know, and, you know, yeah, I heard you ask if there were ever any thoughts of stepping out. I did thought about it, but it never happened. You know, I just kept busy, you know, trying to do things to keep myself busy, you know, doing church and, you know, going places, being with family, you know, trying not to think about it. But at the end of the day, you're human and you do think about it. And I felt like a big part of my life was missing because I wasn't having that part. It's like a fulfillment thing, you know.
Wow.
Man.
Wow. Were you pretty much the aggressor having sex, or was he the aggressor before the erectile dysfunction?
Yes. So, you know, so yeah, I would be the one to initiate it. You know, if we were in another part of the house, you know, I would do my little touches or, you know, try to ask him, you know, to get him in the mood, you know, just to calm down. That's because I know sometimes I can be a bit much, you know, when it came to that, because it's been it was such a long time. And I was starting to feel like I wasn't attractive. You know, he wasn't attracted to me. You know, I wasn't doing it for him anymore. So, you know, as a woman, you start thinking about stuff like that. You know, is it somebody else? You know, and I would ask him, is it somebody else? You know, are you seeing someone? And he was like, you're my wife. Why would you think that way? And I'm like, because you're not touching me. So if you're not touching me, are you touching someone else?
Wow.
So I'm like, okay.
You know, it's you know, you a lot of women, they say that, like, you know, if they ask a man, hey, are you interested, or am I not attractive anymore, or whatever? And why is it? I mean, that question always seems to come up, I guess, but it's, I don't know. If you with that person and things of that nature, man, it seems like you shouldn't have no worries in the world, whether you're attractive or whatever. I mean, I would think that's my opinion.
Well, you know, at the end of the day, when you love somebody, it's like, okay, you have to do or try to think of other alternatives. So what I ended up doing was I started befriending other women, not for that particular space, but I started, you know, reaching out to other women just to, you know, have someone to talk to.
Okay.
And in the interim, what I started finding out was, because I felt so alone, I felt like I was the only one in the world going through this. And that's when I realized you're not alone. And it's not just an older woman thing. A lot of young women were going through the same thing, you know, and it was for different reasons. The majority of it was for medical reasons, but a lot of it was, you know, the man just was not interested anymore, but they didn't know how to leave, you know, or they stayed in the marriage because of the children, but them and the wife weren't getting together in that way, you know. So it's like, sex isn't everything, but when you have other issues, and that just makes the situation worse. You know, so it starts to compile and you start to have more frequent arguments, you know, in the relationship, you know, and things start to intensify. You know, you start to resent one another. And once I decided I had enough, I just had enough of it, you know. So when my head and my heart got on the same place, I just decided to call it quits. I wanted a divorce.
Wow. We often have men have erectile dysfunction problems. I've never heard of women actually having that. Is it called a certain term or medical diagnosis?
Women can. Women can. I mean, it's, you know, that thing called libido, but, you know, it's estrogen. You know, if you have low estrogen, that affects your libido. Even though that old saying, you know, the mind is willing, but the body is weak, or the flesh is weak. Sometimes that happens. You know, that you soak in order to do it, but sometimes it just doesn't happen. You know, and unfortunately, you do feel that you're not attractive. You feel like you're not wanted. And all of that thing starts to play with your ego. You know, well, what is wrong with me? Why doesn't he, you know, touch me the way he used to? Why can't we get intimate like we used to? And sometimes when you give up on things, you don't communicate. You stop talking.
Mm-hmm.
And in my situation, that's pretty much what happened. You know, it's like you're fighting and you've been fighting for so long. Oh, I'm going to change. Things are going to happen. We're going to start doing this, start doing that. But then when the reality of the situation never happens, you know, then you start to think, you know, maybe he wasn't attracted to me, or maybe it's me, you know. But in my situation, he didn't want to get help. I used to talk to him about going to the doctor, you know, getting assistance. You know, I said there are more than, you know, different ways, therapy, you know, pills, you know, but he didn't want to do any. And one day we were talking about it, and he just blurted out, told me, he said, I'm not interested in sex anymore. And I was like, well, wait a minute. That means you're not interested in me because we're married. I said, we're not just dating, we're married.
Right.
You know, so I was like, wow.
Whoa. Smalls.
And that's when I just started thinking, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I told him, I said,
go ahead.
It was the best thing for us to do was to separate, because if not, you start to get that resentment. And I didn't want to have a lot of arguments. You know, I didn't want to have that stress compiled on what we were already going through. Our finances were starting to get drained, you know, and, you know, those are like the number two things that you go through, and that can demise a relationship.
Right,
you know,
right.
Not intercourse, and plus the finances. So that's like a recipe for disaster there.
Right.
Yeah.
Moving forward, Small, since she had this gap with no sex, how strong do you think she is? I mean, you have to have the strength of a tiger or a lion. You got some buildup. I think the proper nickname for you, once you get out of that, it's called a nutcracker.
Look, man, I'm gonna say it like this. It's one thing to have a medical condition, but at the same time, just like Ms. Janey said, they got so many stuff out there right now to help people with that condition. They got everything you need to get you going. You know what I mean? Right now, there's no such thing as you can't get it on, man. You can be 80, 90 years old and still get it on. They got something for you. Trust me, they got something for you. Now, at the same time,
they do, but he wasn't interested.
Right. You know, and you
So it's
shouldn't
like,
be
what do you
ashamed.
do when your partner is not interested?
Look, you shouldn't be ashamed. What do? You say, hey, we're gonna take a ride and we're gonna go down and see this damn doctor. Because guess what? I can't go another damn year without getting no goddamn sex. I'm sorry to say it like that, but we married and something got to give. You know what I mean? We got to work this thing out. You know what I mean? You know, people 80, 90 years old, man, they getting hard like bricks now. You know what I mean? You should not be in a situation where you're not pleasing your significant other. At whatever point, is ways you can help that situation. So it's no excuse. If me in a situation, look, I ain't gonna be ashamed. Look, hey, I need help, man. Hey, look, I need a little edge on this thing here, Doc, man. What can you do for me? Because I got this lady at the house. She ain't gonna sit but so long. You know what I'm saying? That's just me. I'm just saying.
Ms. Janey, when you got back in your group, well, hold on one second. When you got back in your group, did you catch a charge? That's all I want to know.
You're asking me that?
Yeah, did you catch a charge? when you got back in your groove? After the divorce was over, did you catch a charge when you got back in your groove?
If I caught a charge,
No. Did you catch a charge with the next man, bodily abuse, because you had all this energy? Did you catch a charge or a case?
I'll say somewhat.
Smalls. She was on fire. Would it sound like Smalls?
I think the proper word was anxious.
Okay.
Yeah, after that, it's okay. I mean, you go through that. You entitled to feel that way or whatever, but it's okay, man. We are all humans, man. I got a question, man. I want to flip it up a little bit. I want to kind of flip it up. So when it's the other way around and say the man, he on fire, he ready or whatever, what would make a woman not want to have sex with their significant other in a marriage like that? Let's flip it up. What would make a woman say, keep her man begging and begging and begging and, baby, look, man, what's up? No, I'm tired. I don't feel like it. Now let's bump all of the medical.
It's kind of the same thing. It may be medical, especially for a woman. If you have back issues, sometimes, women that had hip surgery, things like that. It takes time. However, if the two people are willing, and that's the most important part. In my situation, he was not willing to do anything. So wow. If you have a partner that's not willing to go that extra mile for you, then it's like, what else do you do? So as a woman that's in that situation, if she is the one that's in pain, and can't really reciprocate what the husband wants, then you compromise. There are pillows, there are different positions,
Get an ice pack.
That's what the woman would do to keep the man at home, but it's like when it's reversed, and he's just not willing to do it, what do you do? As a woman, what do you do? Like you said, there are toys out there, but what if you're that woman that don't want to do the toys? You want the affection, you want the feeling, you want the emotion, from your spouse, because that's, hey, that's one perk of getting married.
Yeah.
So it's like, what else do you do?
Well, my opinion is this. The mouth is a terrible thing to waste.
Well.
You can't keep your man barking like a dog, right, Smalls?
No, you can't keep him like, you can't keep him like that, man.
You're begging. Hit it again. He begging.
Yeah, man. You can't keep him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Once the dog gets barking.
Yeah. Moving forward, are you guys friends to this day, or you guys don't speak?
Say that again?
You and your ex-husband, are y'all friends? No communication?
I would say we're cordial. I mean, if I see him in the street, we'll speak. If I see him, I don't go out of my way to make sure that he sees me. If he does, he does. If not, I'm not going to, because the one good thing about our relationship, we didn't have children. So I don't necessarily have to speak to him if I don't need to.
Okay,
so cool. If I see him, it is what it is. I think my family members see him more than I do.
Cool. The last thing I got, suppose he comes to you and say, Janey, baby, look here, I got some work for you. And I done took care of that. I got something for you to come see about. I got plenty of work over here. What you gonna do?
I'd probably slam the door in his face.
Dang.
And in the words of Miss Janey, go play with your mama.
Oh.
Wow.
Wow.
Hey, you know what?
She kind of rough, ain't she?
Hey, I can feel her on that one, man. You come back after all these years. What you hold
exactly.
on, wait.
All this time, it's like what happened, during your freedom that you couldn't give me together. What changed? And we did have that talk. And you know, when somebody constantly tells you that they're not interested anymore, it's like, why bother? So if he were to come back, I would give him the same treatment he gave me. Shrug my shoulders and like, I'm not interested.
Well, suppose he sing to you, you know, go a little something like this. You'll never find a love like mine. Someone to love you like I do. Now what you gonna do?
Slam the door in his face.
Hey, and I was just about to say that. I said that door still gonna slam.
Yep.
You rough. But you live in your bed.
No, but you know why? You know why I would do that? Because I'm gonna be honest with you. Even though I spent 6 years, you know, the last 6 years of our marriage with no intimacy, we didn't even have intimate conversations about anything. And when I asked him, you know, when we separated, I said, while we were going through our separation, I said, you know, let's start dating each other. You know, let's try to start over, you know, and rekindle what we had and see if, you know, maybe that would help.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he told me, what do I look like dating my wife?
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, wow. So that kind of told me my answer. And after that, I stopped trying. I said, because when you're in a fight to try to win something back and the other person isn't willing to fight with you, what is the purpose in fighting if you're fighting by yourself?
Well,
you know, you're fighting a losing battle.
You correct. Especially now, I'm gonna tell you, all y'all older men out there that want them young women. See, y'all know what y'all be getting into, boy, when y'all got them young women now. If y'all got a woman that's 10 years younger than me, you better have your act together now. I'm trying to tell you. If this woman talking to you, trying to reach out to you, whatever she trying to do to get the mood right, don't be so caught up in your old ways. You ain't paying attention now.
That's right. Because Smalls, the cat never stopped whistling. Hit it.
Nope.
And that's true, because I spent the last year of my 30s and, you know, trying to, you know, make things work.
Yeah. But now you're living your best life. We appreciate you for coming on here and telling your story. Smalls, what you think about that? Give her a round of applause, man.
Yeah, man. Look, man. You gotta not just give her a round of applause, but everybody out there that's listening, we appreciate you.
Yeah, it's a serious situation.
Right. But I tell you what, it seemed like you got so much strength. Nobody wouldn't fight you all that backup and build up. You got like a dirt and, you know, filling a Tonka truck with dirt just on the construction site. All that strength, you strong.
Let me tell you, it's a lot of women out there living that type of life right now, man. They just don't want to admit it, man. They acting like it don't want to affect them. But y'all out there, y'all out there. You ain't gonna say nothing, but y'all out there. I better stop that.
And that's true, because for years I was in denial, you know, by keeping busy, you know, not really putting a lot of people in my business. It's real. I found a group of women. I was like, you know what? I'm not the only one, but it's sad.
Right. But I'm glad it seems like you're recovering, and that's a blessing. Full speed ahead.
Yeah, there you go.
Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
The little engine that could.
The little, I huff and puff and blow your house down.
It is.
There you go. Small, show her some love. Say a little prayer for the sister that for the rest of her life she won't have a sexless relationship or whatever she's in. I don't know.
God, I thank you for Miss Jannie joining us tonight. Joining us tonight to share her story. Please bless her to continue to have an edge, you know, have sparks in her life from this day forward with whomever she may meet. Make sure that person, man, be the one that's rightly fit for her. In your name we pray. Amen.
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 We appreciate you. I'm the weatherman, T. Smalls in the house. Miss Janey, Sexless Marriage. Great topic. We love you. Smalls, one time for your mind.
2 times for your soul. And y'all stop having them sexless marriage out there, boy. Do something about it. There's too much technology in this world not to get it on now. On here, get your man hotter than a roll of quarters. Stop playing.
All right. I'm the weatherman, T. Smalls out. You have a blessed night. See ya.
Kingpin Music.